the core of the holistic paradigm that ancient medical traditions have used to understand the psychosomatic unity of human being, is becoming the core of all the most interesting research in neuroscience.
The great tradition of psychosomatic medicine can now realize itself and brighten up its image. At this time, it will be able to describe the paths of communication between the biological level and emotions and psyche. The PNEI has the ambition re-establishing the holistic paradigm of the human being in his entirety, using modern science and integrating these scientific perspectives into a paradigm of a general cultural character.
PNEI, Psychoneuroendocrine Immunology, scientifically confirms the united and intimate relationship that connects psychic, nervous, endocrine, and immune systems. PNEI validates the unitary holistic paradigm applied to human beings.
In the last 30 years, all discovery in this field prove that every part of our being is intelligent and full of information. The whole concept of hormone and neurotransmitters as chemical molecules transmitting physical messages are now becoming, as Candice Perth suggests, molecules of emotions. Candice Perth, who discovers endorphins and neuropeptides, said that it is no longer possible to separate mind from body, since in every cell, in every single molecule, we find elaboration of information, mind, intelligence, awareness. So the whole system becomes a cognitive network governed by a center of consciousness that creates unity.
I believe we are in a really exciting moment of paradigm change at the level of studies in molecular biology, genetics, and neuroscience.
Consciousness is the cognitive effect of the whole being, of all the cells, organs, and systems. And inside this wholeness, the brain should be considered as a holographic organ, which reunite all the physical, emotional, and psychological information.
At the center of the brain, there is a beating heart. This beating heart is an anatomical nucleus identified with thalamus. The thalamus has various functions, above all in dispatching somatic sensorial signals, and gives the rhythmic basis which is responsible for the spontaneous activity of the brain.
From here we can develop a primary, unitary psychosomatic map of the cerebral system and understand the psychosomatic relationship between the brain, the emotions, and areas of the body. In the second psychosomatic map, the polar duality of the brain is evidenced by the two cerebral hemispheres and by the autonomous system of its two sympathetic and parasympathetic components, which represents a clear active rational and passive intuitional functional division of the nervous system. The third psychosomatic map identifies the principal relationships between the three parts of the brain and the body. The three brains highlight the three principal evolutionary stages of the psyche: reptile, instinctive unconscious; mammal, emotional preconscious; and human, mental conscious. When mind, emotions, and instincts are in conflict or disharmony, according to MacLean's schizophysiology, the basis of psychosomatic blockages are created.
The kind of medicine that must go ahead and develop must therefore, amongst other things, be connected to the one hand to physics and on the other to psychology, creating a new, unique discipline that takes into account the entire tradition of human medicine, re-examining scientifically everything, even from pre-scientific epochs, creating a really new medicine which uses information as its point of reference. That information which heals you, if you are able to integrate it, information which you are not able to integrate, and information which automatically activates defense mechanisms. These immune systems, defense mechanisms of non-integrated information are the beginning of the disease.
I have discovered that at the exact moment when staminal cells differentiate, there is present substances which are molecular proteins and other regulatory moleculars such as microRNA, which are able to normalize the behavior of cancer cells. From this point of view, cancer and illness connected with tumours are reversible and not irreversible illnesses.
There is the conception that tumour cells have to be killed with radiation, surgery, or with chemicals. Somehow we have to get rid of them. But no, if we give them correct information, they return to normal. We have to give out correct information in order to change the world.
So, at the basis of life, as equal with everything in the universe, there is not only energy matter, but above all information and meaning, and consciousness informs everything in the universe.
Carl Simonton is one of the principal international pioneers of psycho-oncology, the use of psychological therapies and meditation to cure tumors.
Conscious breathing and developing an increased amount of consciousness are certainly central concepts in our work. And conscious breathing is such a wonderful tool to help us increase our consciousness.
The challenge in the field of medicine and health of the third millennium is to facilitate the emergence of the mind-body relationship from being a purely philosophical option and transform it into a scientific paradigm. This will happen through the modelization, the capacity to create models for this system.
I'm interested in measuring the effects of consciousness, measuring the effects of the psyche and seeing its effects not only on people's symptoms, but also its effects on biology.
But how was the relation between consciousness and brain coherence? We started from Karl Pribram, the famous neuroscientist who has proposed the holographic brain hypothesis based on high coherence. 20 years ago, with a modern computerized electroencephalographer, we first discovered that state of disease, psychological conflicts, and depression are related with low level of EEG coherence, while well-being, meditation, and physical integrity related with a high coherence, as the various areas of the brain communicate harmoniously as one system.
As in lasers, the brain also demonstrates the same phenomenon of coherence between electromagnetic waves. Coherence is considered to be an index of communication between different areas of the brain. From our research emerges a relationship between cerebral coherence and our state of psychophysical health. Cerebral coherence becomes higher and higher when people are well.